We're just ordinary people living ordinary lives until we see someone on TV win a $25,000 prize. Come on down. I'll play any game for 10 seconds of fame. Come on down. I'll make a deal, just let me spin the wheel. Come on down. To win $1 million, all you need is a little luck and thorough knowledge of multiple disparate trivial subjects.
All right, welcome to an all-new episode of Come On Down Show, the game... Oh.
Yikes. Okay, let's do it a third time.
What do you mean a third time?
Let's do it a third time.
Welcome to an all-new episode of Come On Down, the game show podcast. This is the first time we've ever recorded this intro specifically.
For this episode.
For this episode right now. There's no way we've done the first 5 minutes of this before realizing that we weren't recording properly.
Correct, Mr. Pinocchio.
What?
Mr. Pinocchio.
Is that like a cool nickname?
No, your nose
is grows like
no,
a
your nose, dude. If your dick grew, if you lied, I'll go around the world being like, I'm a woman. How's
that a lie? You could be,
but I'm not.
Okay. So yeah,
what a weird lie to make your dick grow. I could have lied about literally anything.
The first thing you thought of was, I'll just tell people I'm a woman. Okay. I don't know why that's on the tip of your tongue at the moment.
Tip of your tongue.
Tippy. Yeah, so welcome back to the podcast. Mm-hmm. We took a week off.
For
just some mental health time.
Yeah, and you were in France doing charity work, right?
Yes, it was very charitable to my spirit and my soul.
Okay, so you were building houses?
I was building up some great memories.
You were building up memories,
yeah,
helping local people.
I think if you came in contact with me, I could say that I helped you.
Right.
In many ways, myriad ways.
Yeah. You did say, we were talking about your trip before we started. Also, the first time we recorded this.
Yeah.
You said lunch was about $100 each time.
It was quite expensive.
$100 American dollars.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, there was a lot of expensive food in France, it turns out.
So there's no $5 baguette.
There is, like, on the road, you can walk down the road and get a little baguette from a cart or a window or something. And you do see people just walking down the road eating bread in a little paper bag.
Yeah.
That's real. I've never been to France before, so I don't know if that's just something out of Beauty and the Beast or what, but it was real.
When I went to Spain, they would have doner kebab carts. Mm-hmm. So you would go out and drink, and then you would just see after, people start drinking at 11 p.m. in Spain.
Right.
So
because that's when they wake up.
Right. 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning rolls around and everybody's on the street hammered, eating this big old kebab.
See, the thing I liked about France was mostly they have the times right. It's not like Spain where the times are all bad and stupid.
I wouldn't say that.
I would.
I'd say the people usually, but the clocks are fine.
The people are bad and stupid.
No.
No, I was in Spain one time for work, and it was like I flew in, so I was kind of tired and everything, and so I went and took a nap, and I set my alarm to wake me up at like 7 in the p.m. So that I was like, I can go to dinner, and then I'll come back and I'll sleep for the rest of the night. And so I went down to the concierge at the hotel, and I was like, hey, is there anywhere nearby I can walk to for dinner? And they're like, nothing opens up for another hour and a half for dinner. And I was like, what? And they were like, restaurants for dinner don't open up until 8:30 at the earliest.
Right. And you're like, okay, but then just show me to like where the ones that are, I get it. Right. But like, we get the culture here.
Open now.
But like the one that is open.
So yeah, France, at least, like if you wanted dinner at 7 o'clock, you'd have dinner at 7 o'clock.
Right. It's just going to cost you $800.
Yeah. And the real issue is it still has the European, like, how long does dinner take? I don't know, 6-7 hours sort of vibe to it. Mm-hmm. Where it's just hard for me. I know it's a cultural thing. It's just hard for me to get it. It's hard for me to understand, like, why would I want to sit here for a long time? Like, I can get it on an occasion, maybe. Like, you go out with your friends you haven't seen in a while. You're catching up. You're shooting the shit. You're getting some after dinner drinks and hanging out and talking and things like that. Mm-hmm. but I just can't understand, like, I'm with my wife, who I spend every fucking second of the day with, and I love it. That's why I said fucking.
So the first part of the sentence sounded a little more concerning.
We don't have like that much to catch up on at this point in time.
Yeah.
So let's just do this transaction. Let me eat. I'll pay you, and then I will leave.
Okay.
And it's very confusing to me because generally the food comes fairly quickly and things like that. And then it's just all of the in-betweens where you have to wait forever.
Yeah.
And then because of the way that they do like credit card payments there with the little traveling battery-powered credit card box that they have, it's like you have to find the guy and ask for the check. And he has to be like, oh, you don't want any coffee or after dinner wine or anything? And it's like, no.
After dinner wine.
Whatever. No, I don't need that. And yes, I'd just like the check, please. So then he has to go, and then at some point he has to come back with the check. And now it's like, normally that happens. I put my card in there, they come back, they take it, they go away, they scan it, they bring it, like in America. There, I put my card out, and then like eventually at some point they see that my card's out, and now they've got to go back and get their battery-powered credit card thing and bring that out to my table to do it. So like just from the second I want my check to the second I'm paying my check is 40 minutes.
Right.
And it's like, what am I doing during this 40 minutes?
Just enjoying the time with your wife, just sitting in the moment.
Yeah, right. No.
Well,
absolutely not.
I mean, much like the dinner occasions in France, that story was entirely too long.
Yes, thank you.
And I would have loved to have my check halfway through that story. But I think we should. Do you want to transition? Did you want to? Do we?
Did you want to do this transition again about how I say I went to Monaco and it was the second smallest country in the world? And then you say today we're going to talk about Russian roulette and that's the largest country in the world.
No, I don't want to do that.
Okay, because that's what we did the first time we recorded this.
It was ruined. That was ruined. That was ruined. And you have to move forward. And I'll find a joke in this podcast sometime down the road.
Okay,
and we'll figure it out.
All right. Well, Godspeed. We've got a sponsor before we talk about Russian roulette today. And I'm going to read it now.
Sure.
I'm going to get through maybe more than the first line before realizing that we're not recording.
Let's do a check.
We're recording.
We're both recording.
We have a special super local sponsor today, Cool Heads Salon for Men.
Finding a good stylist for men's hair is hard. Finding a great one is damn near impossible.
Anyone on the hunt for a great stylist can hang up their captain's hat, dock their boat, and burn their treasure map because your matey just found the jackpot. Wow.
Situated at the northeast corner of Custer and 121, this salon has an inviting atmosphere and some tasty drinks you can enjoy during your haircut, even though no one ever does, because who wants to stick their arm out outside the plastic hair barrier and risk getting hair in their Dr. Pepper? No one.
Jennifer, the stylist, will listen to what you want and give you the best haircut she can. One local patron was quoted saying, I moved here in May and I've been to 2 local salons, each producing disastrous results. The first stylist I tried at a place called The Man Cave gave me a haircut that lasted a whopping 10 minutes. 10 minutes for $30. And when I left, I felt like I had just been fucked on a first date and kicked out holding a pile of shame in the form of my crumpled shirt and pants.
You can really hear the pain in the patron's words. Sometimes it's hard.
He continues, the second place I went was based on a recommendation. I trusted this person, and there was no way in hell that I was going back to the shit cave. That's what I call it, because in man cave, but it was shit.
Yeah.
I had my first haircut there and felt all right. Then I went home to clean off some of the hair shreds and found a large section cut straight down to my scalp right above my ear. I looked like those kids from middle school that used to get their sideburns chopped all the way off. Like, it would just go straight back, and you're like, did they ask for that? Do they think that looks good?
It's a very detailed review. Let's get into the show today.
Last part here. And after complaining to my wife for days on end about my shitty haircut, she suggested I try one more place. My savior, Cool Head Salon for Men. I understand the complaining about a bad haircut is nothing but a vain-induced waste of time, but I don't have many years left with my hair. It's thinning every day, and each haircut is crucial. This must be what it's like to be 85 years old and have to selectively choose your meals, that always haunted with the realization that it very well could be your last.
Cool Head Salon for Men. We put the great in existential breakdowns caused by crap haircuts given by stylists with poor attention to detail.
Wow, that was an intense...
that one individual had some interesting points with the haircut.
And just about life in general, really.
Yeah, I think it all kind of does.
I never thought about that last meal thing.
Isn't that crazy?
What is your last meal? Mine right now is leftover pizza from Blaze Pizza.
I mean, last meal is going to be a steak slathered with butter.
What if I shoot you right now? What if we play Russian roulette right now and you die?
Okay, do you know how Russian roulette works?
Did you have a steak slathered
Russian
with
roulette,
butter?
you don't point the gun at someone else. You do it at yourself.
Okay, well, what if we played it and you shoot yourself
My last meal?
like an idiot? And right now, what was your last meal?
It was honey Chex.
Oh, so it wasn't a steak slathered in butter, you fucking idiot. You're
I
dead.
can't have it
You're
every
dead.
single meal.
If you want to make
because
sure
it will
that
be
it's
my
your
last meal because my heart will collapse on
make
itself.
sure that it's your last meal, then
Have
you will
it
have it for every meal.
single meal.
That's the lesson about life today.
That is a good lesson. You should have leftover pizza, which you can't always have leftover pizza because it has to be
somebody
regular
else
pizza.
gets it, and then
It's someone else's leftover
Yes.
pizza. Okay, that makes sense.
So today we're going to talk. Well, first of all, I think we're going to talk about Russian roulette today, but there is probably the biggest news story in the country right now is game show related. So I feel like we have to talk about it. Of course, we're talking about the game show.
Joe
Last one out of
Biden.
Afghanistan, turn off the lights. No, what? You didn't watch that one? It was on Fox.
Last man in Afghanistan, turn off the lights.
Yeah.
What is turn off the lights in the metaphor?
Well, you just don't want to run up the electricity bill after you leave.
Or is Afghanistan just one building?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now. after 20 years of that shit? Yeah.
Oh, no.
So, no, we're talking about Jeopardy, which is big in the news for the last couple weeks.
We got another cancel culture.
cancellation. So, as you'll remember back in, I believe, November of 2020, Alex Trebek departed this earth
Could you pour out a little bit of your drink onto my carpet, please?
for a higher plane. And so since then, there have been a rotating array of Jeopardy hosts. For the first, I think, like 6 weeks afterwards, Ken Jennings, the greatest Jeopardy champion of all time, filled in as host. And I think there was a lot of people that kind of just assumed he was the heir apparent.
Successor.
He's been quite involved in the show and returning for special events and things like that in the decade and a half or whatever since he was a champion. And a lot of people probably thought it was kind of his job to lose. After 6 weeks, they started going to like a rotating every 2 weeks guest host.
What happened is
tryout.
Trebek was the game show Jeopardy is going through a series of rebounds right now. You know that the first girl or boy that your friend dates after a bad breakup, that's not it. That's not the one. There's no marriage happening from that. So it's kind of an interesting time for Jeopardy right now with the rotating people that just don't really seem to fit.
How long did you meet your wife after your last bad breakup?
This is the next one.
Okay. I just wanted to check.
It's the next one.
Okay.
It's different for me.
Okay. I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. So, yeah, so there were rotating guests. Aaron Rodgers, the football quarterback, he was one of them.
Do you have to clarify football? I feel like quarterback is very unique to the game of football.
I don't know. I just, for some of our foreign listeners, I don't know if they're totally familiar.
That last guy in Afghanistan.
Yeah, exactly. Was trying to find a light switch. There were many of these. There was Dr. Oz. People were upset about Dr. Oz being a host. There was Joe Buck. I think he was like the most recent one.
Is that the guy from What the Buck
Maybe.
YouTube series?
Yes, that's the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
Not the famous sports announcer. And then so I think the very first one after Ken Jennings was Mike Richards, who was an executive producer on Jeopardy. He's been an executive producer on The Price is Right in the past. I think he's only been at Jeopardy for like a year and a half or so before all this as an executive producer, but he was the first one to fill in for a couple weeks. Mayim Bialik from Blossom and that show, the Bazinga Show, Big
That's
Bang
what
Theory.
it's called. No, it's called Bazinga
The
Show.
Bazinga Show. And then LeVar Burton was a big push by the internet by a bunch
Would have loved that.
by a bunch of people that probably don't watch Jeopardy really wanted LeVar Burton because of Reading Rainbow.
Sure.
I never watched Reading Rainbow, so I don't
It was good.
have the fond memories of LeVar Burton.
It
that
edged into
the internet does.
a little too nice, a little creepy for the kids show
I
spectrum.
don't know. I just fucking learned how to read with a book instead of a TV show. I guess that was my thing.
I don't think it was really teaching you how to read.
Was it just talking about? Was it like a book club on TV?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
For children.
So you just learn about the hungry caterpillar.
Right, and how it was tied to communism.
Of course, they all are.
They all are.
So all these people had their quote unquote tryouts or whatever. And it was announced a couple weeks ago that the permanent regular edition of Jeopardy host moving forward would be Mike Richards.
Mm-hmm. And period.
And there would be a spin-off or offshoot, like the special edition. I don't know if they were making like College Jeopardy and things like that, kind of its own distinct thing from regular Jeopardy.
Sure.
Where those used to just kind of replace regular Jeopardy in the lineup for a couple weeks at a time, hosted by Alex Trebek. But now Mayim Bialik is going to host that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know there were some people that, well, first of all, my kind of view of this was with Mike Richards being executive producer of the show and then being named the host. It kind of felt like in The Office when Dwight is the manager of Dunder Mifflin and Jim kind of manipulates Dwight into selecting for his number two Dwight himself as his number two. Or in more real world terms, if you watch the news instead of The Office, kind of like when George W. Bush hired Dick Cheney to choose his vice president for him, and after an exhaustive search, Dick Cheney chose Dick Cheney. That was kind of what this felt like to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Was Mike Richards choosing himself.
Choosing himself.
Choosing himself. And so people were a little upset about that. Then people listened to a podcast that Mike Richards did with a female friend of his.
Okay.
And I don't know all the details. I can't say that I know all the details of this because it's exhausting and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But
You're so cool.
thank you. There were things found in 9-year-old episodes of this podcast with this female friend of his that he hosted the podcast with, where she talked about working at a booth at CES and he said something like, "Ooh, you're one of those booth sluts." And so that was misogynistic and
What does that mean?
At a lot of these technology conventions where it's a bunch of like nerdy type of guys, they have like hot girls hired to stand around the booths for their company to draw in all the losers.
Lights for the nerdy moths.
It's yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's that mosquito light that zaps them, or the moth light.
Right.
That just
So once the
draws
nerds get in, they just stab them real quick.
Yeah, exactly. They kill them all. So they draw them over to look at their processors or, whatever the hell.
Okay.
So he said that rather misogynistic thing.
Sure.
He also, I believe she was short. And at one point he called her a M word, which is little people phobic.
Oh. Got it.
You can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
He said the R word about something a decade ago.
A decade?
Yeah.
That's still too new.
Too soon. Too fresh. So, kind of like you did on our last episode.
No.
And so you're canceled. You're not hosting Jeopardy.
That was a drop.
You're not hosting Jeopardy.
It was a drop.
A drop of you of another time that you said it?
It was a drop of, yeah, it does. A drop of me. But that drop came, it was 40 years ago. So it was still.
It was okay back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it works.
It was the preferred, actually. Nomenclature at the time.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff led to him, after 1 week of recording, resigning in disgrace.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't say those things.
And what happened is he went back to executive producer.
Yeah, and made more money. You can't say those things in the past anymore.
Not apparently. It's very clear that you can't say those things.
So he got cancel cultured a little bit, and now we're back on the hunt for a new Jeopardy host. And
why can't it just be Mayim Bialik?
Because she's a woman.
Why can't it be Miriam Blasey?
I don't know. Maybe it will be. Who knows?
You think her name is Meredith and she chose the stage name Miriam Blasey?
That's not her name. That's what I don't know. I don't.
What's
think
her
she shows
name?
That her name is Mayim Bialik.
Yeah, Miriam.
Miriam Blazes. So yeah, I mean the search goes on, and we'll do a full breakdown of this when we do a Jeopardy episode once we get some freaking consistency going on there.
Yeah,
so we can understand what the
I'm
show's
exhausted.
all about.
Every time I
know.
turn it on, I turn it straight off, just
Wow.
like how I've done it
Before
my entire
yeah,
life.
Exactly. When and I just love how it's the internet that finds this stuff that they don't watch this show. They're not tuning in to their fucking local station at 4:30 in the afternoon to sit down and watch Jeopardy. No, it's a bunch of old people that don't know what's going on the internet.
Right.
And so it's funny to me that that's what influences
Although I would
situation.
argue that people who have the time to sift through 9-year-old podcast episodes probably don't have jobs.
So they
which
might be watching Jeopardy.
They might be watching
That's
Jeopardy.
a good point. So, Mike Richards, you're out. You're canceled. You're a bad boy.
Yeah. You
And
Are we allowed to use those words against the people that use them?
Yeah. You little Mike Richards. What?
I mean, he's regular height, I think.
Well.
No, not regular. I mean, he's just
Whoa,
taller. He's just
yeah,
taller.
whoa.
He's just taller. I said the
Whoa.
double R word.
Whoa. So, yeah.
Look, cancel culture makes me want to put a gun to my head and one bullet in it and twist it and just pull the trigger.
Whoa, like Russian Roulette, the show we're talking about today.
That's right.
For the rest of the episode. Russian Roulette sounds dangerous. Was a game show.
And an actual thing.
It is both. So, kind of. I've done some research.
Oh.
I've done a little bit of looking.
Right.
Let's bust some myths today, folks.
Okay.
So, Russian Roulette, the game show, was a Game Show Network show. We talked all about Game Show Network just an episode ago.
episode.
We didn't mention this one. Saved it for a special time.
Yeah.
So it was on Game Show Network from June 2002 to June 2003. 2 seasons within that year. 131 total episodes. So they made sure to really get in there and do some episodes.
Not quite the
in that time
early
period.
game shows where we have thousands of episodes.
Right. But it was only 1 year, so
That is a
fairly
lot.
impressive. I
Yeah.
mean,
Half
about
the year.
Yeah, I would say about half of the amount of episodes you could have gotten.
I mean,
in
that's
that
they
time.
played an entire season of baseball. Almost.
Yeah, exactly. Almost an entire season of baseball of games of Russian Roulette.
That's how I think about things in my life.
In terms of
It's
seasons
hard.
of-
It's hard for math
a lot
stuff.
of people think in like base 10, you think 10, 100. I think in 162. I think in base 162.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's like 2/3 of a baseball season. Somebody comes, it's like, dude, you would have no idea. In France, lunch costs you like 3/4 of a baseball season dollars.
Baseball season dollars. BSD.
Yeah. So this show was hosted.
The conversion is cricket dollars.
Yeah, in Europe they use cricket dollars. This show was hosted by Mark.
Zac Efron.
What?
It was hosted by Zac Efron. It looked exactly like an older Zac Efron.
I don't know that I made that connection,
Okay.
but
Do your eyes work?
I believe you. I guess.
Do your eyes work?
I don't know. Was he in Baywatch? Was Zac Efron in Baywatch with The Rock, Dwayne
Yes.
Johnson?
He was.
He was hot. So Mark L. Wahlberg is his name.
Right.
Not
Everybody
Mark
knows Mark Wahlberg.
Mark L. Wahlberg.
Okay.
Mark Loser Wahlberg.
Yikes.
So I just feel that's very unfortunate for him to have such a weird name and still be by far the second most famous person with that name.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Your agent probably was like, you can't go by your name, which is Mark Wahlberg. We have to throw an
Yeah.
L in there. Just change your name. Just have a different stage name.
Yeah.
Mark, Mark,
But he's not ashamed of his name. He's proud of who he
Mark
is.
Plasterberg,
He's proud of who he is.
Mark Florberg,
Wow.
Mark Seelingberg. All of these work.
I think we talked about this before, but like those are bad and dumb jokes. But
Mark Outletberg.
okay, you're just looking around the room at things right now. Emma Stone, her name is Emily Stone,
Mm-hmm.
and she'd never gone by Emma in her life.
Sure.
And when she got to Hollywood, there was already a registered SAG performer with the name Emily Stone.
Mm-hmm.
So she couldn't just register the name Emily Stone with SAG. And so she went with Emma Stone. And so it wasn't even like, I like to go by this name or I want a better stage name or whatever. It was just, well, that name's taken. I got to make up a new name for myself. So you're saying that's what Mark L. Wahlberg should have done as well?
Sure. Thank you so much for that very long explanation.
You should have gone for Ma Wahlberg.
Yeah, or
just take off the
Marka
end.
Wahlberg.
Yeah. So
He's a Marka Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. Mark L. Wahlberg, the host of this show, he hosts stuff. He was the announcer for Shop Till You Drop, which is a show that we've talked about before for a little while. He also hosted The Moment of Truth on Fox. Do you remember that show?
No.
It was, God, it combines all of our worst base, like
Fears.
not fears, just like problems as a society.
Okay.
It was basically
Mustard.
It was a show with a quote unquote lie detector test, and they ask you questions, exceedingly personal and difficult questions, and if you answer
That is not a
true-
fat old Zac Efron.
I can kind of see that as a fat old Zac Efron.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, Mark L, as you go by with your friends. So the show got exceedingly more personal and
Okay.
hard to answer, and you were hooked up to a lie detector test, and if you lied, you lost all the money. But the more questions you answered truthfully, the more money you got.
Okay.
And it would be questions like, do you wish that you were with your ex-girlfriend instead of your wife?
Yeah.
And things like that. And some people would, quote unquote, potentially ruin their lives for the money by saying like, yes, I do. And things like that. Or, have you cheated on your spouse, whatever. And so it had a lot of backlash, I think, because of the life-ruining aspects of it,
Okay.
potentially. So he was the host of that. I think it was like 2008 or 2009 on Fox. He's also the host of Price is Right Live, the touring version of Price is Right. Probably hasn't done a lot of touring in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Mhm.
He's also been on Antiques Roadshow, or as one of the.
That's a
the
game
hosts
show we
on
need
that.
to do.
That would be a weird game show to do.
No. It's
I won. This tapestry was worth $7,000.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
That's how you win. And he's currently the host of Temptation Island, which I think is a British show originally that is now an American show. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's people on an island that want to fuck.
That's true. I don't watch trash shows. I
watch some because my wife does.
I watch Love Island.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of is Love Island.
Okay.
I don't know what Temptation Island is now.
Temptation Island sounds like a better show.
Right, yeah.
It's like a whole bunch of obese people, and every morning there's just rows and rows of donuts, and they have to not eat it.
Jesus. I thought it was going to be like there's like porn stars and
there's rows of donuts. And
donuts on the porn stars, yeah.
they have to not have sex with the donuts.
One other thing Mark L. Wahlberg did
Mm-hmm.
was a game show called Game Plane.
This game playing?
Game Plane.
Okay. Game playing.
Like, is that a plane? Is that what a plane sounds like? If I did the arms.
If you're gonna feed your future child, you need to work on your plane sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Because your kid's gonna be like thinking that that's what a plane sounds like.
Okay, could you demonstrate for me?
Yeah. Welcome to the plane, everybody. Take your seat back. We're going to be going out to 30,000 feet. There's more than 20,000. Most people don't know that. And you go ahead and sit back. The seatbelt is going to be remaining on or off. It's going to be going on and off intermittently. It's not really going to make sense. Sometimes I'm going to be in a bad mood, and I'm going to pop it on. Because it makes me feel good to have power over all you idiots sitting in there. Seatbelts on will be going off shortly. Please don't pee your pants.
All right, open up wide for the cream peas.
That's
It's a very long process to feed
what
your
an
child.
airplane sounds
You're
like.
going to take a very long time to feed your child.
Yeah.
So he hosted Game Plane on Discovery Family. And this was a game show that, as you might imagine, took place on an airplane.
Air Force One.
I wish. But it took place on just regular commercial flights.
That's like Cash Cab.
Right, exactly. But you'd be thinking like you're flying from Newark to Omaha or something.
Okay.
And all of a sudden there's a game show going on in the aisle.
That sounds pretty cool.
And so this was a thing for 2 seasons. And there would be... They would do... They would separate couples for isolation booths where they would put one of them in the lavatory and ask the other one questions. And then you had to come out of the lavatory and see if your questions matched. They would do putting mini games in the aisle of the plane.
Okay.
And it was on Allegiant Airlines, which I don't know if it still exists, but it was like one of the budget airlines, kind of like Spirit. And they were like, yeah, sure. Just mention us on the show and you can come on our planes and fuck with our paying customers.
Yeah.
And I think they would like kind of brief them in the boarding area beforehand that this was going on. And like, if you were like, I absolutely don't want to be on TV, they would like put you in the front of the plane so that you're not in the background of the shots or whatever. And like, if you were selected for one of the contestants, you would know in advance before getting on the plane. They would do like pre-interviews and whatnot. So a crazy show that I somehow had never heard of. Game Plane. Markel Walberg was a host of.
Allegiant is a publicly traded stock.
So is it still around? They're still doing game shows?
I think so. I don't think they're doing the game shows.
So he also hosted Russian Roulette. And Russian Roulette worked like so. There were 4 contestants. And in a traditional, I guess, revolver, there might be 6 chambers.
Correct.
Holding ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
And each time you pull the trigger, it rotates to the next chamber.
Yes.
Right? That's how a revolver works.
That's how a revolver works.
It's technically a semi-automatic weapon because it loads the next round automatically upon you pulling the trigger.
99% of guns are semi-automatic.
Right. And they're weapons of war and they need to be off our streets. So that's how a revolver works in general. I thought I'd set that up for our audience at home. Russian Roulette is traditionally, outside of this game show,
fun.
Sure, of course. A game, quote unquote, that involves having a certain number of rounds chambered at random. Usually you think of it as one. 1 out of the 6 chambers is loaded. And you spin the chamber. You cock it.
Well, you have to smash it
back in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never messed with a revolver.
That'd be the longest game of Russian roulette ever if you just spun the chamber and then
shot
without it.
Never. So, and then you smash it back in there, and then you pull the trigger, and hopefully you didn't have the 1 in 6 chance where the live round is chambered.
Right.
And
or if you're like a prisoner of war, you were lucky enough.
If you got the 1 out of 6, you got out of there. So that's Russian roulette. The first known reference to something like this was in a Russian story in like the 1860s about somebody firing, but it was whether there was gunpowder or not loaded. And then the term Russian roulette was first used in 1937 in a short story by a guy named George Surdez, who the story was called Russian Roulette.
Ooh.
And it was about basically what our modern understanding of the quote-unquote game of Russian Roulette is.
Yeah.
The chambered round and hoping you don't shoot yourself in the head. There were some people around this time period. There was a boy charged with murder for he and his friend playing this game but pointing it at each other.
Oh no.
As they alternated and went. And obviously, once you pull the trigger 6 times, you're dead. Or the other person is dead if you're pointing
don't
at
you
them.
spin it each time?
Well, so that's the thing. If you spin it each time, then you've got a 1 in 6 chance every single time.
Yeah.
And I think after 6, the odds would probably be something like there's a 60% chance you're dead at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But there was somebody who I believe it went to the Supreme Court.
In how many baseball innings is 60?
60%
Yeah.
It's like a little more than a third of a baseball season of percentages.
Thank you.
So I believe there was a Supreme Court case based on this murder conviction for these kids playing Russian roulette to decide. His claim was that wasn't murder, we were playing a game. And they said like, yeah, but when the game is one of you gets murdered, it's still murder.
Yeah.
So
strong ruling
activist
from the Supreme Court. You imagine if the Supreme Court's ruling was if you say it's a game, it's not murder.
Yeah, that's true. So Russian roulette has been established for about 100 years as this.
And it hasn't changed.
Hey,
one of the few things that hasn't evolved.
You know what? Because it was a perfect game. Yeah. There's no reason to change it.
Yeah.
So Russian roulette, the game show, there are 4 contestants and there are 6 circular platforms in a circle around a stage. Mm-hmm. There are 4 contestants standing in 4 of those platforms. It's a trivia game show. The way it works is that one contestant is given a question. They're told what the question is.
First off, right off the bat, they start the game saying we randomly chose a first person to go. Why don't we start off with the Russian roulette situation?
Just to see it. The game jumps in very quickly. Mm-hmm. In the episodes that I saw, it's like, I'm blah, blah, blah from this place. I'm blah, blah, blah from this place. I'm blah, blah, blah from this place. All right, let's play Russian roulette. We randomly selected the first question. Here it is.
It's the best. The announcer, the announcing voice is so, it's like, welcome back to Russian roulette. And I thought it was funny because the dichotomy of the guy being like, welcome back to Russian roulette. We've got Jason, a collections supervisor. I was like, that doesn't sound cool at all.
Yeah. So they pretty much jump right in. A random person is selected and given the first question. And then what that person can do is they choose who gets that question, who they think might miss it. And at this point, it's kind of based on like, this person looks stupid to me. I think this person's dumb.
Or the episode I saw where the guy just kept choosing the woman.
Well,
and you have to. What I do like about this part though is that you have to justify why they make you say why you're doing it, and
they don't look like they know much about the baseball season length.
That's literally what people would say.
I know. So that was pretty silly, but so they would choose a person to get it. It was a multiple choice question. So there would be 3 choices, I believe.
Yes, at the beginning.
Right, in the first round. And if the person gets it correct, they get $150 that they steal from... Everybody starts with $150. I didn't clarify that. Everybody starts with $150. If you get a question correct, you steal the $150 from the person that assigned it to you, or vice versa. If the person misses it that you assign it to, you steal their $150.
Yeah.
However, if you miss, you now have to spin the wheel. And everybody has a big lever next to them on their platform.
Right.
And in this first round, if you're the first person to miss a question, or you miss the first question, you pull it, and there are lights on the 6 circles around that spin at random, or actually, however long you hold the lever determines how long it spins for.
Okay.
And it lights up, and everybody else's platform is locked, but the person who missed the question, if it lands on their platform, it opens up and poof, they fall right through it. They disappear. Down. And if that person had any money at the time, that money would be divided amongst the remaining contestants. However, each question, they add an additional drop zone. So if you miss the third question, half of the floor, half of the spots are drop zone. So you've got a 50-50 chance of getting dropped out if you miss the third question, for example. And once the first person is eliminated, that's the end of round 1. And then they do a round 2, which is like the same exact thing as round 1. Then that person gets eliminated. They now go to round 3.
That's right, folks. Round 3.
Head to head. And in the head-to-head round, you can choose to keep the question yourself instead of assigning it to the other person. If you think, I'm going to know this one before you see the choices. And now, is this where we get to 4 choices?
Yes.
Now we have 4 choices, so it's a little bit harder in this round. But you can assign the question to yourself, get it right, and get the money. Otherwise, you can be dropped out if you miss it.
Sure.
And then the other person gets all of your money, and they go on to the bonus round. That's pretty much the way the game works, right?
Yes. Front to back.
And again, if you had money, that when you lose in head-to-head, that money goes to the other person as well. So you might have, if you had a good game, $1,500 or so at this point. Because I also believe in this final round, the question value goes... Oh, no, in the bonus round, the question value is higher.
Yeah. So
you go to the bonus round if you're the winner, which is you're standing on, obviously, one of the 6 platforms.
Yep.
And there's a 60-second timer. So it starts clockwise away from you, where every 10 seconds, one of these platforms will open up. Over the course of 60 seconds, obviously, at 60 seconds, your platform opens up and you fall to your death. And in the first season, so as I mentioned, there were 2 seasons of this. In the first season, there were 5 open-ended questions. No multiple choice at this point.
Yeah.
Which you got $500 per correct guess. If you got to 60 seconds and you were still trying to go, you fall through, you lose. But you do get the dollar amount that you had up to that point for every correct answer you've gotten. In season 2, there were 10 questions in 60 seconds, but they were back to being multiple choice.
Yeah.
And you only got $300 per correct at this point. So you had to try and get 10 correct in 60 seconds. The other catch is, if you miss even one of these questions at any point in time, the floor opens up and you fall through and you're done.
It's very difficult.
Very difficult. But if you're able to get through all 5 in season 1 or all 10 in season 2 without missing in under 60 seconds, you win $10,000. Not a bad prize. How do you feel about $10,000?
I mean, it's fine.
How would you feel about $100,000?
Yes, now we're talking.
Okay, so what you do, if you are successful, if you win that $10,000, now what happens is however many floor holes, that's the official term, got opened during your turn in the bonus round. So say you were able to answer all the questions in 35 seconds, so only 3 of them are open. The 4th one hasn't opened yet. You now can spin the Russian roulette wheel with that amount of open holes. So 3 in this scenario.
Yeah.
So you've got a 50-50 chance of either falling through and losing the $10,000 or winning $100,000. And if you've got a 50-50, the obvious answer is you go for the $100,000 because that's 10 times the money.
Yeah.
Mathematically, it is an easy choice. Almost all of these, the mathematics would say go for it. Because, I mean, worst case scenario, 5 out of the 6 are open. So you've got a 1/6 chance, which is about 17%. So you get 10% of the money for walking away, or you've got a 17% chance of getting all of the money. Mathematically, you should take the spin because the average will be $17,000. You get 0 9 times and 100,000, or 0 5 times and 100,000 the 6th time. So statistically, you should always play for the $100,000.
Okay.
But
I'm going to take the money. Thank you.
exactly, I knew you would because you're a coward, and we proved this before on Cash Cab.
I'm a
that you're
coward. I'm a coward with
and
$8
that was
grand.
only double the money. This is
You're a
10
hero with $0,
times the
and I'm a
money.
coward with $5,000.
Why does it keep going down each time you say it?
Because it doesn't matter how
8
much
a
it
second ago,
is.
it's
I
5.
still have more money.
Right, but just mathematically.
And you're
you
like
should
an old man,
probably-
and you're like, when I was on the game show, Russian Roulette, I pulled it, and I was so close to that 100,000. And I'm like, I invested my $5,000 in Apple, and now I'm a billionaire.
Wow, Apple stock is going to go up a lot in the next
It did.
few years.
Yeah. It is. It's going to go through another halving, and then it's
Okay.
going to go up again.
Okay. So that's it. The show existed, as I mentioned, for 131 episodes, and 3 times people won the $100,000. So, like 2% of the time, people won the $100,000. So, if you watch, like that's like barely
How's
2
the math?
games of a baseball
How's the math
season.
now?
That's like 2
How's
games
the
of a
math
baseball
now?
season.
You still want to go for the 100K?
Yeah, because the people didn't get 10K in the first place.
Now you have 2% chance.
It's not a 2% chance.
Now you have a 2%
because
chance.
it's the people weren't winning the $10,000 either.
Law of averages, 2% chance.
No, god damn it. Yeah,
Sample size.
it's a double header basically. Your odds are a double header percentage.
Oh man.
But that is Russian Roulette. It to me seems like a kind of insensitive game show.
Why is
Like
that?
Hangman. These are real ways that people commit suicide. They should have had that warning at the end of every episode that's like, if you or someone you know
Is struggling with
depression
Russian
or
roulette.
suicide, call this number.
Yeah.
Like
and it's the game show hotline.
It's just 1-800 Game Show Network. It's the booking number for Allegiant Airlines. But like 13 Reasons Why, they have have that.
I don't watch shows about suicide.
Why? Triggers.
I just Russian roulette.
Ah.
Triggers.
Have you ever killed yourself before?
Yeah. Spiritually.
Whoa.
Yeah, you do. When you do a lot of drugs, you have an ego death, and that's a form of suicide. But it's a form of suicide that you come out with being a better person at the end.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nice peyote trip.
Yeah.
I think so I watch a lot of stuff about suicide, unlike you.
You just watch videos of suicide on YouTube?
Well, not on YouTube.
Okay.
On other sites.
Yeah. World Star.
I do get annoyed by all like the trigger warnings now.
Okay.
Have you seen those on?
No, I don't watch videos of suicide.
But there's all like rape also. They have those.
I don't watch those videos either.
Well, not video, but like TV shows.
They make TV shows of rape?
I mean, as a plot point in the TV show.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's like Rape the TV show.
Wait,
Hosted by Neve from Catfish.
Are you asking me to rape the TV show? I don't. Yes. Are you saying at the end of the episode?
No, they'll do it at the beginning sometimes, and it's annoying because it's kind of a spoiler warning for me.
Yeah.
Like,
So you like to go into shows being like, I wonder if this one's gonna have rape. The me not knowing if this is gonna have rape in it.
well, no. That's not what it is. But it'll be like the episode will be about to start, and it'll put up a warning that's like, warning. This episode features content about sexual assault that might be upsetting to some viewers or something like that.
Right. And you're like, not me. Bring it on.
Hell yeah. That's how I know what to watch. But then like the episode will be taking place and then you see like this like guy and a girl like drinking at a bar or something. I'm like, oh, he's going to rape her. I already know that he's going to rape her.
Yeah.
So at what point is the rape going to happen now? Like I already know.
Right.
Or like if it does the same thing about suicide and I see somebody like being sad and I'm like, oh, well, this person's going to kill himself at the end of the episode.
So when you make a TV show, you're going to put those warnings up, but then not have it in the episode?
Right. Just to really throw people
Yeah.
off. Yeah. But I feel like they need to do that. If 2003, we didn't know about trigger warnings yet. So this show didn't have to have them.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel like it's insensitive. People kill themselves every day. Thousands.
Thousands a day, yeah. I mean, across the world.
I don't know. What do you think the number of suicides a day is?
Well, I know for sure it's like $30,000 a year for a firearm, which is the most successful form of suicide. Tool of suicide.
Like Russian roulette.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those people do you think were playing Russian roulette?
I think, but it's hard now because revolvers aren't as popular. So people put one bullet in the clip and put it in their like
100% of the time.
Hopefully it doesn't happen this time.
Oh, it's not this one. Yeah, I think roulette, for some reason, there's something about the game of roulette and a spinning wheel determining fate that appeals to humanity in some way, shape, or form. Because this is, obviously we have the game roulette, which is one of the most popular games at casinos always.
One of the most, yeah, for sure.
Big crowds around it. And you have Russian roulette, one of the most popular ways to play a game where you might die.
What other games can you play where you might
Sex
die?
with Magic Johnson.
Or like Shoots and Ladders.
Yeah, Shoots and Ladders. And
Shoots.
oh, like
Heroin.
drugs. Got it. And there's chat roulette. We talked about that before this episode.
I'm gonna open it up. I was hoping this was an idea I had, but it was too much. Obviously, I was gonna have chat roulette up the entire show, and I was gonna cycle through what these were, and every time when we hit a dick, I was gonna point, and then I wanted to have like a dick
picture
count.
of the dick?
No, a dick count.
A dick counter on the YouTube video of this episode. Hopefully, we're recording the video. Who knows? We haven't checked that when we rebooted the audio recording. Chat roulette. When did that come out? Maybe like 2007 or so?
What is happening? How come this isn't...
Maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Chat roulette is still, right? Correct? You're loading it up?
Yeah, I'm loading it right now.
Is a website where using your webcam, you are matched up with a random person somewhere in the world who is also using their webcam to go to chatroulette.com, and you two can chat with this random stranger.
Dude, it's different now. You have to chat. You select one person or the other, and if you're a match, then you start chatting.
What is this, a dating site now?
It looks like it's like waiting for partner's decision. What is this?
So it used to be that it was just random people. You'd be matched to a random person, and you can click next, and they're gone, and then somebody new is there.
Right.
And that the idea is really cool. The amount of dicks is really not cool.
Okay, I got matched with a guy, and he's not showing me his dick.
You're saying something about dicks, bro. Like, what the fuck?
No, I'm saying you're not showing me your dick. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, what's up?
So how you doing, bro?
You're on a podcast right now.
Okay.
We're talking about game shows. What's your favorite game show?
My favorite one?
Game show.
What's that, bro?
Like Skip. You don't know about game shows?
What's a game show?
You're gone.
He sounds not American. Maybe they don't
He
have
wasn't.
game shows in whatever country he's in.
What country do you know that doesn't have a game show?
Afghanistan. Except for the turn out the
Last
lights
on the
one.
line. Okay, so yeah, chat roulette is weird now. It was way better.
When there was more dicks. I hope the microphone picked up what that guy was saying. I have no idea.
I don't know. He didn't say anything interesting.
He just said bro a lot.
He did say bro.
He said bro a lot. What's that, bro? What's that, bro?
Nope. That guy looked like my uncle.
Jerking off. That guy looked like my uncle. That really upset you to see your uncle. Is that a trigger warning?
He just looked like a really hairy Arabic guy.
That guy looked like my uncle. So, Russian roulette, chat roulette, they're all scary. They're all bad ideas. Except there was
They're good ideas in theory.
Yes.
They're bad ideas in actuality.
I would say Russian roulette is just a bad idea in theory and in actuality.
Okay, fair.
Chat roulette probably a good idea in theory.
Yes.
But it did lead to, I don't know if you remember, the chat roulette piano guy.
Yes.
So this was a huge...
We thought it was Ben Folds for a while.
Yes, this was a huge craze on the internet around 2008, 2009 maybe. There was a guy who he would go on chat roulette and he would play the piano and he would kind of cue people to give him suggestions and he would kind of make up songs as he played the piano based on their suggestions. And he always had a hoodie very
Real tight.
tightly wound so you barely saw the middle of his face, and he always had these big framed glasses on, and he was very good at piano, and he looked a bit like Ben Folds, especially in these like darkly lit rooms with shitty video compression of the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And he was, like I said, very musically talented. A lot of people were like, is this Ben Folds on Chat Roulette doing this thing? It was not Ben Folds, it turned out. It was a completely different guy.
Yeah.
But then like Ben Folds found out about it, and Ben Folds at live concerts started bringing up Chat Roulette on like projectors at his concerts, and would do what this guy was doing in front of live audiences. And it was really cool. And that's how something really cool came out of the internet back when that could still happen.
Right.
Instead of just like
some sort of
threatening
corporate
people and starting uprisings and canceling people and riots and capital mobs and all that stuff. Before the internet was used for all that stuff, it was used for exciting things like piano performances.
Okay, I've got Omegle going now. Omegle is the new Chat Roulette.
It's the new Chat Roulette. Okay. Well, in the sense that it works like the old Chat Roulette, you mean?
Yeah.
Instead of
it's
matching?
like I can actually just do a random
person
a
pops
random
up,
person.
a random penis.
A random person has popped up. It's not a penis.
Not a penis?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good news. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, is not a penis.
But now I don't know how to do next, so we're kind of just stuck with this.
We're stuck with this person. There's no next one.
We're stuck with this person. Okay, there we go. Got it.
They're gone. So, Russian Roulette as a game show.
Yeah.
How would you make it better? Oh my God, this person's very loud noises.
Okay, let me talk about...
The real portion of this show is not going great. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm going to leave it open in a tab, and we'll just see if
somebody...
somebody...
dicks pop up.
So we make it better with 3 different shifts.
Okay.
I would say 100% of an inning in baseball.
Okay.
Contestants should choose to play real Russian roulette for an extra $50.
An extra $50.
Correct.
They potentially kill themselves.
For $50 though.
Oh yeah. Okay. Fair.
We should. The host should be Russian.
Okay, that's
I feel like that would have been cool for the theme for the host to be
Putin.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
On a horse, shirtless.
Correct. And every episode should end with the full.
Ooh, what about Maria Sharapova? She was kind of hot.
The full Russian roulette scene from the movie Deer Hunter.
With Robert De Niro?
Correct.
I've never seen it. Or I could do that thing where I go, oh yeah, that scene was crazy. Yeah.
And
what was that scene? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the scene though?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, I remember that scene.
Right. Yeah. This dude was wearing a mask on his chat cam his cam.
Terrifying. He's probably a serial killer. So,
dude, we're 6 people in, and I haven't seen a single dick.
Hey, that's better than the odds of killing yourself in Russian roulette. It's exactly 1 in 6. So, I think sharks is the main answer here.
Oh, in the bottom.
Oh yeah.
You finally get your sharks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sharks is the only answer here to make this better is sharks.
Okay.
You're talking about people shooting themselves in the head. I'm talking about getting fed to sharks.
Getting eaten, getting sharks.
Don't have any open wounds or they will smell that blood.
Or,
do sharks have noses? No way. You can't smell in water. People say sharks smell blood, but you can't smell in water. I don't believe it. You can definitely
smell.
Can you smell in water?
I can't because that's how I breathe. And if I were to smell in water, I would die.
Right, exactly.
Okay, it's like water.
Are there smells in the water? That's the real question.
There has to be. When they say shark, okay, this is on this guy's chest, but there's no. Okay.
Oh, there's no dick?
There's no dick.
Okay, that's good.
Our dick counter is just going to be 0 the whole time.
Well, that's a shame. I guess I can take mine out for the good of the show.
The speed at which people cycle through you is insane.
People next to you
are looking for something specific. It seems.
So what would you give this out of buzzers? 5 buzzers.
I'm going to give it 3 buzzers, and 3. I'll tell you why.
Okay. Tell me why.
This show had everything for me.
Wow.
It had people. It had slow motion replays of people falling through which, by the way, these people were falling.
Oh, yeah.
They were.
Gravity's real.
They were gone almost immediately as soon as those doors were let out.
Right.
It had
Other stuff?
that was about it. Okay, no.
Not everything. Slow motion replays people falling. That's it. What else do you need?
Look, it was a fast-paced show. I appreciated that. It was fast-paced. At the beginning, too fast.
Yeah.
But it moved along quickly. It was a very fluid show. It was missing something. It had
You're right.
it had its thing.
You're
it
right.
had its thing. It was It was for sure different. It was for sure unique. But then it was like, that's all we need. And as a viewer, you were like, that's not all you need.
You're right. There was something missing, and you really felt it with how quickly it gets going at the beginning. And like, there's one question, and they're like, I think this person's a pretty boy, so they're not going to get this right. And then they miss it, and then they pull the thing, and then they fall through, and then that's it. And I'm like, I really didn't get to know anything about this pretty boy. I didn't know if like, yeah, that is a good point. He is a pretty boy a little bit. She's not going to know this stuff. Like, you miss a little bit of a connection there with how quick it gets going and just how immediately people are being eliminated. Like, on the first question of the game, people can be eliminated. And there's only 4 people, and you're like, how are you going to fill the rest
It was
of
like
this
that one
time?
game show we did where oh man, I forget what it was called now. There were a lot of different stages that they could go through, and it starts out with just eliminating one person right away. It was the one where it was like, count as many quarters as you can.
Oh, where you don't sleep one.
Yes. People were eliminated almost immediately, and they had to stay up for like
24 hours, and then they're just eliminated. Yeah, that was definitely unfortunate. I felt like it was like, okay, well, this person, now there's only 3 people. This person's gone. I don't. Not that I ever really need to know stuff about these people on game shows, but like I couldn't even make a connection with that person existing as a real, genuine person before they were gone off the show. And then, yeah, for all the excitement of people falling through holes at random, which is very exciting,
very
to me,
fun to watch.
there was just a little hook that I was missing that didn't quite draw me in to be real excited to see these people fall through these holes. And the other thing was, it happened a little, I guess probably for safety purposes, it happened a little too slow. Like, the light would light up their platform, and then to be like, uh-oh, and then boom, fall through. Like, I want to see them not knowing. Like, I just want to see it, like, the light's going, boop, 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 open, boom. Like,
Yeah.
the light is on the platform before theirs, and then theirs just opens immediately.
Okay.
If it's supposed to be the last one or whatever.
Right.
I wanted to see more of that. So yeah, I think I would give it a 3.
More of a fear-based unknown fall.
Definitely.
Okay.
That will ramp up the excitement for sure. If they just fall and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they fell.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, they're about to fall. Yep, there they go falling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 for me as well. I think
It was a fine show.
I think if they ever bring this back, they've got to find that extra little hook to get me caring. Maybe this is one.
Maybe it's sharks.
And maybe it's sharks. Maybe you like extend this, instead of a half-hour game show, you make this an hour and you make it a full 6 contestants or something like that.
Yeah.
To where
It's still got to have something else, though.
Yeah.
6 is just going to be a longer show.
That's true. I don't know.
We're not here to fix all the shows.
We're just here to tell you what's good and bad.
Yeah.
And this one's mediocre.
This one's very medium.
Yeah,
I'd say I would order this one medium at a restaurant.
I would say this is about an all-star break of
right.
baseball season.
It's happening. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's tradition at this point.
Yeah, whatever. It's there. Watch it if you want.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 3 out of 5. I would give Chat Roulette a 0 out of 5 at the moment. Not enough dicks.
Literally 0 out of 5 dicks.
0 out of 5 dicks.
Which I'm fine with.
Too complicated now, Chat Roulette.
Yeah, Chat Roulette was interesting. You had to match, and if you matched, then you could start talking.
Right. They should
and it would show you up like before it could.
They should just have a dick identification algorithm.
And just automatically have all those people in the same.
Yeah, you get shunted off to all the other dicks if you've got your dick out.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you get to see all the regular civilized people.
Right.
That's my suggestion.
I like it.
For Chat Roulette. How to make Chat Roulette better.
How to make Chat Roulette dickless if you want it to be dickless.
Want it to be. Or dick full.
Your dick full of...
If you want it to be.
Yeah.
That has been another episode of Come On Down the Game Show podcast.
I think we should end this show with if you know anybody who's dealing with listening to bad podcasts, we highly recommend going to at Come On Down Game Show.
At Come On Down Show.
At Come On Down Show on Instagram.
Come On Down Show gmail.com.
You can, one of the ways, if you're having a bad situation,
Text me.
or email the show
Oh,
at
yes. comeondownshow@gmail.com. So if you or anybody else you know is suffering from
bad
podcasts
or lack of good entertainment,
or just they need something to like go to sleep to,
yeah,
hit us up.
hit up the game show.
Which is us.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys next week.
Bye. A good stylist for men's hair is hard. Finding.
Hold on. We've been doing this whole thing not recording properly.
God damn it.
Dude, I'm so glad I noticed right now.